If you're watching this video, thank you, please like and subscribe. It probably won't surprise you to hear that a lot of modern holidays have their roots in earlier pagan ones. It seems pretty natural to assume that Easter would be in that bunch. Like, what do bunnies and eggs have to do with Jesus? As such, every year you get people sharing memes about how Easter is taken from a pagan spring festival, with bunnies and eggs coming directly from that, which sounds right. However, these memes are woefully wrong. Despite how pagan these elements may seem, dig a little deeper and you'll find the explanations are decidedly Christian. To start off with, let's address one of the worst one of these claims, the idea that Easter comes from the Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar. Because Ishtar sounds a little bit like Easter, you get some people claiming that Easter was a holiday worshipping her, and from that they make all sorts of theologically nonsensical claims to back it up. I found memes claiming she was a virgin mother goddess, that she was a goddess of fertility in spring symbolized by eggs and bunnies, and that eggs were stained red with the blood of children to honor her, all of which are no. Ishtar was a goddess of love, sex, war, and rulership, with only tangential fertility associations, and she certainly wasn't a virgin mother goddess, given the whole, goddess of sex thing. She wasn't specifically worshipped during this time of year. She had no association with eggs or rabbits, and people absolutely didn't dip eggs in the blood of children for her. Another big giveaway that this is made up is that the Germanic languages are the only ones that call Easter anything that sounds like that, while in the region where Ishtar actually came from, they call this holiday Pascha. So, where did the name Easter actually come from? Well, it's Germanic, specifically Saxon in the case of the English word, which comes from the name Eostar. This is where we come to another pagan origin people propose, which is that Easter comes from a festival worshipping the Germanic goddess of spring, Ostara. According to this argument, Ostara was another spring and fertility goddess, associated with both rabbits and eggs. In truth, however, the name Ostara is only attested in the name of a German month, and there's only a single record of Eostar from after Christianization. According to this account, Eostar Monath has a name which is now translated Paschal month, and which was once called after a goddess of theirs named Eostar, in whose honor feasts were celebrated in that month. Now they designate that Paschal season by her name, calling the joys of the new rite by that time-honored name of the old observance. That's it. 2 sentences from a single Christian source. So, where does all the other stuff come from? Well, the Brothers Grimm, who you probably know from fairy tales. They were very big on the concept of a unified pre-Christian Germanic identity, and went around collecting stories to construct their idea of this Germanic culture. They took the record of Eostar, used the old High German equivalent of the same month, and then, just like the people who try to tie Easter to Ishtar, they made up an association with eggs and bunnies, working backwards from the existing holiday. So, if all these claims are made up, where do the eggs and rabbits really come from? There are a couple of possible explanations for the eggs. One, probably the most simple, is that they come from Passover. Easter and Passover are heavily associated with each other, hence why Easter's original name was Pascha, carried over from the Hebrew name for Passover, Pasach. A single egg is included in the Passover Seder plate, which may have carried over to Easter. Alternatively, the inclusion of the egg may have been due to the association of eggs with rebirth. In this possibility, though, the egg wasn't taken from an earlier pagan ritual, but rather adopted to symbolize Jesus' rebirth after the crucifixion. The dyeing of eggs originated among Mesopotamian Christians, who originally stained the eggs red to symbolize the blood of Christ. Later, I guess they were kinda just like, dyeing eggs is fun, because they started using different colors. Meanwhile, egg hunts probably evolved out of the tradition of kids going door to door asking for eggs before Lent, as they weren't allowed to eat any for its duration. So, how about rabbits? This one does sort of have pagan origins, in that it started with something pagan Romans believed, but it's basically the opposite of what people think. Due to how fast they bred, some Romans claimed rabbits were hermaphrodites, able to reproduce all by themselves. From this, rabbits developed an association with virgin birth, and thus became somewhat popular as symbols for the Virgin Mary after the introduction of Christianity to Europe. Fast forward over 1,000 years, and the Lutherans are like, you know what Easter really needs? Its own version of Santa Claus. Hence, they came up with the Easter Hare, who would go around distributing Easter eggs. With Germany very thoroughly Christian at this point, seriously, this was after the Reformation, any possibility of direct pagan influence in this practice is extremely slim. So, despite how removed Easter traditions may seem to be from Christianity, this holiday is one of the least pagan ones in Europe. The practices associated with Easter all come back to Jesus in one way or another, either through the Virgin Mary, Jesus directly, or Passover. So next time when you see one of these pagan Easter memes, whether from modern pagans trying to claim the holiday for themselves or fundamentalist Christians trying to reject it, you know the real reason for these rituals. Happy Easter everyone, and thanks for watching.